You don't get rich quick, but you make money fast. Let me explain. You can spend years and years in this industry applying yourself, putting in the hours, putting in the work, and make absolutely nothing. And in a very short period of time, once you have the skill, you scale up fast. So you don't get rich quick, but you make money fast. What is going on, guys? So I am now back in the UK. It's been an incredible trip in Dubai, and I've got an exciting episode for you. We're going to be talking about how much money can you make with the Falcon strategy and Forex in general. Now, speaking of the trip, first and foremost, thank you so much for the messages that you all sent in. I really do appreciate it. And I noticed a common theme that sparked this episode. Now, amongst all the other things that you guys were asking about, what's happening in Dubai, the expansion, all of these exciting things that we have, there's something that links very closely to that, which is the common theme of how much money can I make? Well, in this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you some really important things, some chart work as well that you need to know, but more so a bigger understanding, how you can do it, how you can actually achieve this in the first place, and our internal funding program that assists with all of it, guys. This is really important. So for these questions, we take them seriously, and I want to give some value back to you. So let's dig into the episode. And for those of you, the guys that are still asking the questions about Dubai, if you want to know more of an insight into that, I actually highlighted the whole trip. So head over to my IG and you can follow along and see everything that happened there, guys. But right, let's get into the episode. So this question, I understand why you ask it. I understand why many of you are wondering what it is. Well, firstly, let's take a look at the bigger picture. If you're someone who's just coming into Forex for the first time, questions are always, how much money can I make? How long is it going to take me? All these questions come up. But what I want you to think about, and even you intermediate traders that you've been learning to trade for a while, you've been in this space for a little while, many of you will know this, but there is such a large proportion of people that are trading the financial markets and they're constantly focusing on the money. And they think and believe, they have this belief that the more they focus on the money, the more they focus on how much profit they can make, the more they will make. Well, think of it like this. If you look at it from a logical point of view, I remember one person said to me, right, I have these simple goals that I'm going to focus on. I am going to focus on how I can make £50 per day trading. And then there was another one which was like 50 pips per day, but same sort of concept, £50 per day. Seems very logical, seems very simple. Once I'm making £50 per day, then I'm going to focus on scaling it up to £100 a day. Once I'm making £100 per day, I'm going to then focus on 150, 200, and you get the logic. Now, the problem with this type of thinking is that you're now working in an absolute. You're working in an absolute that you have this belief that you can just rock up to the market every single day and extract a set figure. If it was that simple, we would be millionaires overnight. You cannot extract an exact amount and be so arrogant to think that you can just rock up to this arena, one of the biggest arenas in the world, and just £50 per day, that's fine, £100 per day, then you move up to £1,000 per day, as if it's just a walk in the park. It does not work like that. And if you want to make big figures, you want to be six-figure, high six-figure, seven-figure traders, it doesn't just happen from this. The great thing is about trading is that there's so many layers to it, it demands so much for you. But what you also have to understand is a little bit like business. You can get to a certain level just by maybe focusing on a bit of profit, etc. Focusing just on technical analysis, you'll get to a certain degree. But if you want to make millions, you want to get to a humongous, enormous level, it will take a different level of sacrifice, different level of work ethic. And what we've noticed, and I've had the privilege of coaching thousands and thousands of students now, you often notice that the ones that have these ceilings, these blockages, it's always mental, it's always the mindset. And I firmly believe anywhere under 100K, you can do all right, right? People that are very technical savvy, that understand the financial markets, I mean, they can make some decent trades. They might bank 7%, make 7,000, etc. They can get to a certain level in which that they're making a decent amount of money. And then what happens after that is that when they want to get to those next levels, all these blockages come up. There's always a ceiling. So you've got to ask yourself, in one of the biggest arenas in the world, do you really think that just understanding technical analysis that pretty much anyone can learn is going to get you to a seven-figure trader, right? We delude ourselves. This is why psychology is such an important part. And the ones that win and go towards those bigger levels, which is what I'm going to get into in terms of percentage, are the ones that master their psychology, guys. This is why we literally created a program purely designed for psychology, because it's such a big part that traders are avoiding. They're wasting so much time and money and energy just on the next best strategy that they think is the holy grail, and they ignore the big elephant in the room, which is their mindset. So just a quick reminder, guys, if you're taking tons of value away from the channel, you've been enjoying our videos and you want to make sure that you are in the loop, make sure if you haven't already, you are subscribed to the channel, you like, you comment, you engage with us and let us know your thoughts on these videos. We absolutely love doing them and we want to make sure that you're in the loop. Speaking of value, we want to make sure, check the links in the description. We have tons of gems there that will improve your trading journey. So just a quick reminder to you guys. Now let's get back to the video. And this links into the next part, which is our funding program. Getting to the point of this video, how much money can I make in Forex? How much money can I make trading the Falcon strategy? Well, within our in-house funding program, what we wanted to do is intentionally design this in a way that people can scale up without this enormous pressure of forcing percentages. So circling back to my original point is, can I make £100 a day, £200 a day? These logical things that kind of make sense in theory, but really goes against the probabilistic edge that you need in the market. No one knows your sequence of wins and losses. You're not just gonna win every single day. It does not work like that. So what we've done is that we intentionally designed this so you don't feel like, right, I need to make X amount by this amount of time in a very short time frame, which tends to make you deviate from a trading plan to force a return for you to then get funded. It doesn't work like that. We created it in a sustainable way where you have a whole year, you have a long period of time for you to stick to your plan. You don't need to rush it, and why would you? You're in your own lane. No one else is going to trade your trading account for you. This has been intentionally designed for you to scale up. With our funding program, once you unlock the 1 million USD, you go on to 70-30%. Right, so 70% to you, 30% to the fund. Now how that works is, think of it like this, even just on 5%. Let's say, for example, you're averaging 5% per month. You make 5% on the million and that you make 50K. You have the 70%, you've got £35,000. Now look at it from that perspective. Did we focus on £100 a day? Did we focus on how many pips that you're going to make? No, we didn't. It's just simple percentages. So remember, the amount that you will make will be on the reflection of your trading account. So if you're a new trader, I don't want you going into the mindset thinking, how can I make 10K? How can I make 20K a month? It doesn't work like that. You focus on the skill set, you follow processes, you have a regimented routine, you follow a trading plan, and as a side effect of probability, you will have an average. So 1 month you might actually make 0. 1 month you might make -1, but your edge over time will play out and you might finish the whole year on, let's say, 70% or 100% on the year. And then you average that return. So you might even average 10% per month at the end of the year. If you've averaged 10% a month, on an average month, for example, you've unlocked the 1 million account, right? And it's bespoke after that and it goes higher and higher. But let's just look at it on the simple 1 million. You've made 100K, you've got 70%, you've got 70K. Now ask yourself, you're probably asking this question because you want to know, is it going to change my life? Well, does 70K per month on average change your life? Probably 5 or 10K per month will probably change your life because you realize that you don't need to be a multi-millionaire to live a good lifestyle, right? So you have to then go into the why, and this is a rabbit hole that we're not going to go into today, but just being clear on that. But the whole part of the question that you're asking, you have to ask yourself, why are you asking the question? Are you asking this question of how much money can I make trading the Falcon style? How much money can I make trading Forex in general? Are you asking it because you're sick of your job and you're miserable? Are you asking it because you're curious, because you genuinely want to know that what is a possibility? I want to kind of get to that point there, is that you need to see it as how much money you will make will be based on your account balance and the percentage that you average per month. So guys, before we wrap up this episode, if you're someone who is really serious about your trading career and you want to make sure that you get to those levels, trading 6 figures, high 6 figures and 7 figures, that will be determined on how consistently you are either on the right side of the market or the wrong side of the market. So let me just briefly show you that on how we do things here at Falcon. So I've got 3 pairs, and I just want to show you this very briefly because this is one of the most simple things for you to understand, that where amateurs are losing. Remember, you've probably heard amateurs, what do? They sell the lows and they buy the highs. But what does it actually look like? Well, as you can see here, I've got Aussie Kiwi up on my screen. Now, if we just go to the daily chart here, as you can see, this is a very, very simple chart of people getting caught on the wrong side of the market. Prime example of is this. You can see that price moves up towards this high, this kind of mini double top. What does price do? It breaks above. This is where amateurs believe that price is going to keep going higher. So they start buying, and eventually something steps in for the sell. Now, what if I told you was the simple reoccurring themes, reoccurring patterns for you to figure out if something is going to turn around? I mean, Aussie Kiwi, you can see it both sides. Look at this on the flip side. So we saw it here on the sell. People are buying here. What are they doing again? Price breaks this low. People think it's going to keep going. They sell. and then price breaks up. We anticipated this exact move, and we're actually looking for a buy on here. Whether this goes all the way up to here or not, that remains to be seen in the strategy. But in terms of the approach, it's the same psychology again. Now we can see very simple here. It's one of the most simple structures that you'll ever see as to why this was coming to the downside. Now we're seeing something very similar here as we go through the lower time frames. How do we anticipate it? Very, very simple structure that you see over and over again. There is no coincidence as the price is moving up and then doing this type of price action. So it's very simple. But for you to be asking yourself, right, how much money can I make? Well, you got to think about it. Where is the money being made first and foremost? Do you think it's being made by you selling here, selling the lows and getting caught on the wrong side? Or do you think it's going to be when you anticipate these reoccurring patterns in the right areas and you make money on the way down and you make money on the way up? So you need to understand where amateurs are being caught on the wrong side. There's lots of different ways to trade and there's all these fancy things, but this is simple. It's been tested for over 30 years. It still works. It's worked then, it still works now. It's exactly the same thing. So just looking at the simple hack that I just told you there it will save you years in the markets. Prime example just happened recently on Kiwi Yen. Can we look at a reoccurring theme? What happens? Take a look at this. So if we have price moving up here, what do you think that people that don't know what they're doing look at that? They see resistance, resistance, resistance. Price clearly breaks that with momentum. What are they looking at? They're looking for a retest and they're looking for price to go long. They're thinking previous resistance is now new support to go long. Very basic knowledge of the market. But the real players understand where these people are positioned. And then what happens? Price breaks through and it comes back down. Did we anticipate this move coming to the downside? Yes. Exactly the same thing. We're always looking for the same thing. What happens again? Let's take a look. So price breaks this area. Bearing in mind, we just go to the 4 hour very, very quickly. You can see of this price action. How did we anticipate it? Was there another pattern? Yes, there was a reoccurring pattern and something very specific that you will not learn on a basic chart pattern because they don't look perfect as to what is happening here. There is very consistent pattern behavior, psychological behavior happening in this bit of knowledge, this bit of information right here that increase the probability of this trade coming to the downside. Now let's go to the other trade, right? So people getting caught on the wrong side here. So how much money can I make? Well, it'll be, are you getting trapped on the wrong side here? What about the next one? So let's have a look here. What do you think is happening in people's minds here? Or look at this. Could you argue with them for thinking this isn't support, right? Reject, reject, reject. The thing is, people ask us, it's not that we don't think support and resistance doesn't work. It's just not always relevant in that area. There's always support. There's always resistance in the market in forms of structure, right? But you got to ask yourself, when this happens, what are people thinking? Well, they're thinking this is a clear break. There's momentum here. We're going to retest. We're going to go to the downside. Why would you think it's going to the upside? Well, you have to look at the structure, the patterns. So let's see these recurring patterns. Do we get it? Do we break above? Yes, we do. Right. So same thing. If we go to the daily chart, you can see why that when people see price action break here, they automatically think it's going to the downside. So what do? They sell the lows. The real players come into the market, which is a very simple structure that we anticipated here. Price breaks above. So you got to know where to be positioned if you're always asking how much money can I make. Doesn't matter how much you want to make. Where are you positioned in the market first and foremost? So a nice simple one there on Kiwi Yen both ways. And on Euro Dollar, more of a live example as to what we're looking at right now. As you can see here on the weekly chart, I can assure you many people are looking at price moving to the downside, breaking this area here, that we're going to be coming to the downside, right? Or we're going to be retesting this support to then come to the downside. We wait for what happens next. We look for clues in the market. It's because everything is a possibility. It doesn't mean that there's no such thing as a retest. It just means that more often than not, there is usually a clue in the price pattern to tell you that. The same way price broke above here as we wicked this simple double top and it broke to the downside, right? We've broken this low now. Now we're looking to see on the lower time frames, is there any clue we can look at to see that price is now getting people caught on the wrong side here, right? Wrong side here, because we've already broken this low, we've broken this low, and now we've broken these two lows. So we're either going to create a particular structure that would indicate more downside, or you're suddenly going to see a rapid retrace back in, and then we will look for something that we can see based off of this structure. If I go off based off of the structure right now, it's an indication that we will get a push back in. But this is why you stay agile, you stay neutral in the market, and just understand where to be positioned. So just a very, very simple technical lesson there, guys, that I wanted to share with you. And hopefully that gives you an insight into how the markets are actually working. And if you really want to take advantage of things like being funded and making the money that you want to make and changing your life, well, you first have to understand the basics and know where are the amateurs positioned and where do you want to be on the side of the market. If you want to get to the next level and you want to break through, you have to mentally break through. You don't technically break through. And those that understand that get to those levels. So something that I just done recently in Dubai with our funding program and our expansion, once a year, this is going to be exclusive for our funded traders. So 6-figure and 7-figure traders will be at this. And once a year, we'll be talking about our goals. And this is a minimum once a year, but we'll be talking about our goals. We'll be tracking the progression of our students that have quit their job, they've gone full time. Some of them are running businesses alongside that as well. And being able to just share those like-minded goals with like-minded people in the same room in different parts of the world is going to be super excited. So having achieved that and got that there is going to be really, really important. And to get to those levels, it's all about the psychology. The technicals is an important part. So if you're asking us and on a regular basis, you know, how much money can I make? How much money can I make? Is kind of the wrong question. So I wanted to give you more of a holistic approach as to what is actually laid out for you. So if you did come in with the right mindset, for those of you that are very curious about Falcon, do you have a strategy that's scalable? Yes. Do you have a strategy that is going to unlock larger capital in the future? Yes. Is it sustainable for you? Yes. Can you do it while you're working a 9-to-5 job? Yes. The list goes on of how it can benefit you. Now, you can only achieve that with the right patience and work ethic and discipline amongst all these things. But what we wanted to do is that rather than satisfy that question that literally gets thrown at us every single day, is address the root of it. Why are you asking the question? Do we have the whole pathway for you? Yes, that's absolutely fine. Most people understand that, they know that. But you gotta ask yourself, why are you asking the question? Because if you're very miserable in your job and you just want to learn to trade because you think that it's going to escape from something, you're in for a bit of a rocky road here. You have to understand, why do you want to trade? Do you enjoy trading because you love the freedom side of it? Do you enjoy trading because you genuinely have a passion for the financial markets? You need a passion. You need to be obsessed with this game to win, guys. And those that are currently funded in our program right now that are unlocking those new levels, they're obsessed. Believe you me, they are obsessed. They have a sickening work ethic and they did not make it happen in 3 months or 6 months. It took some time for them, guys, but they're putting in the work. So we're very proud of that and we're excited for that. And I hope this has given you a bigger picture to think about. Start thinking about, if you want to look at, right, this is how much money I can make. Think about when you've even got a 100K account and you're making 10% per month, you've got 10K per month, right? If you're, let's say that's your own capital, fair enough, perfect. Or it's an investor, if you're getting funded, then whatever percentage split you have. But you can change your lifestyle drastically just by understanding and focusing on the percentage versus pips and profit targets of daily targets. Like, yes, you can make money. Just the same way that you could have a really average mindset and probably still make a little bit of money in trading, but it will only take you so far, and then you'll get blocked and then you'll realize, right, need to go internal, need to work on my self-sabotage, need to work on my self-esteem, need to work on my self-worth to actually be able to feel worthy of trading high 6 figures and 7 figures. So you see, there's levels to this, there's layers to this. You have to ask yourself, are you ready for that? So hopefully that's answered your question, guys. More of a different holistic approach than what you've seen there on YouTube. And I want to give you that transparent, honest review on what should you focus on coming into the financial markets if you're brand new. Have you been constantly focusing on how much money you can make every single day and then you're still in the same position? Well, chances are you're in that same position because the very thing that you're chasing, you're moving further away because you're not working on your mindset, right? So save yourself a lot of time and headache. Focus on the skill, and the side effect will be those returns and those profits that you make. Guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. If you've had any aha moments during it, I would absolutely love to know. And if you have any more interest into what we do as a community, things that we cover, psychology, technical analysis, we've got some links in the description below. We've got lots of really important, helpful resources for you in your trading career. So definitely go and check out those links in the description. And I will see you in the next episode, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend.